going to start our online workshop session for fraction part 1. I'm Mehdi Mirfata. Just to make sure that everybody are familiar with this platform, please put a check mark next to your name if you can hear me. Everybody do that, please. Great. And if you have any questions during the session, you can raise your hand. So let's everybody do that once again. Raise your hand. Great. Okay, at any time if you have any questions, just raise your hand that way and I would stop. Okay, we're gonna go over some basics. All right, let's start with if I have A over B times C over D. Okay, let me ask everyone to put your answer down. What is this would be equal to? Just give me an idea how far we should go with this. So everybody type your answer, please. Okay, Jasmine, you're saying that would be AC over BD. That's correct. So to simplify, what we need to do is to multiply the two numbers at the top of the fraction, as you said, AC, and the number at the bottom of the fraction, BD. And then before we multiply this, we want to look and see if we can reduce them, of course. So let's take a look at the quick example here. If I have 3 over 5 times 7 over 2, in this case, that would be equal to 3 times 7 and 5 times 2. And as you see, this is not reducible. I cannot reduce anything here. So I would have to write the answer as 21 over 10. Okay. Now, we're looking at the division. If I have A over B divided by C over D, as you probably know, we have to change the multiplication, change the division to multiplication, and write C over D as its reciprocal, which is D over C. And notice that the first fraction stays as is, and we proceed the same way. That would be A times B over B times C. In the process of doing all these, you want to make sure that you would reduce as it needed. So let's take a look at example for this also. If I have 9 over 4 divided by 11 over 4, here you would have 9 over 4 times 4 over 11. And can I see your answer for this, everyone? Okay, will you put your answer, please? Okay, you're saying that is equal to 9. Okay, Jeffrey says it's 9 over 11. Jasmine, he says 13 over 22. What is wrong with 13 over 22? And Jasmine, I'm not sure how you got 13 over 22. I think you're adding. Did you add it? Remember, we multiply. We're supposed to change the division to multiplication. And then once we get to this point, we would write 9 times 4 over 4 times 11. Okay, now let me go back to your response again. Okay, Jeffrey is saying 9 over 11. Myrna, you said 9 over 11. Okay, Jasmine, I still need your explanation for 13 over 22. And Natasha, what is your answer? Okay, Natasha, you put 36 over 44. Okay, let's see. Jeffrey, can you tell me what is wrong with 13 over 44? Is it correct, or or if it's not correct, or if it's not complete? Jeffrey, what do you think? And Jasmine, can you give me your explanation as well? Oh, Jasmine, you put 9 over 11, so you agree with 9 over 11. Not correct. You're saying added up, multiply bottom. Okay. Well, we're talking about 36 over 44. Yeah, that's correct. You're not supposed to add. You're supposed to multiply. That's correct. But what is wrong with Natasha's answer? You have to simplify. Yes. But before you multiply, you were supposed to simplify, actually. You have a question, Myrna? What is your question? Okay, Jeffrey's saying that 36 over 44, it's the answer, but it's not reduced. You have to reduce them. Myrna says I was going to answer the question. Okay, Jeffrey. Very good. Jeffrey's saying to take out the 4. Myrna says it's partially correct. That is correct, yes, but still have to simplify or reduce. Exactly. So Natasha, do you see that? Exactly. You have to reduce them. So before you multiply, once we get it to this point, we have to look and see if we can reduce anything. So I have 4 here. I can divide 4 into 4, I get 1. And if I divide 4 into 4 here, I get 1. So clearly you would see that you would get 9 over 11. If you have to break these numbers into its prime number to simplify or reduce, that's what you have to do. Can I see a check mark next to your name if everybody are okay with this concept, please? Very good. So if you have a single fraction and it says simplify, this is what we're supposed to do. So let me ask everyone to take a look at the handout I emailed you. I'm going to go ahead and open it myself. The first part of the handout, it says simplify. Let me see if I can retrieve that part. And what I want you to do is to take a look at the first part of the handout, problems 1 through 6. And reduce those as far as you can. give you a few minutes to do that, and then we're going to get back. And when you're done with that process, problem 1 through 6, just type done, so I know you're done with this process. Or actually put a check mark next to your name, is easier. That way I know you're done with problem 1 through 6. So we're going to reduce that all the way as far as we can for problem 1 through 6. Okay, so it looks like most of you are done with the first part. Uh, let's take a look at this together. All right, Mernas, when you're done with the first 6, please put a check mark next to your name so we can start. Okay, great, everybody done. So let's take a look at the first one. We have 2/3. Now, can I reduce 2/3? Okay, no. Can I reduce 2/3? So this is already simplified. We're good with that. Now, number 2. Can everyone put your answer for number 2? We have 15/20. How are we going to reduce that? Both of these are factor of 5. So if you divide 5 into both of these, Jasmine says it's going to be 3/4. So as okay, 3/4. Looks like everyone is saying it's 3/4. Okay, you divide 5 into 15, you get 3. And divide 5 into 20, you get 4. Very good. Okay, and let me see who's not responding here. Okay, good, everybody. Now how about number 3? What do we have for number 3? Everyone put your answer for number 3. If you reduce this, both of these are factor of 2, also a factor of 4. So we can write it as, in one step, divide both top and bottom of the fraction into 4, and you would get 1/4. That's good. All right, number 4, we have variable here. What would be number 4 is equal to, everyone? Put your answer for number 4. Okay, Jeffrey, you're saying that would be 7a/4. As you see, yeah, we can reduce b. Okay, yes, that's correct. So in this case, we can reduce the b, divide top and bottom of the fraction into b, then we would get 7a at the top and 4 at the bottom. Can I see a check mark next to everybody's name if you're okay with number 4? That's the first one with the variable. Good. All right. Let me have your answer for the next one, please. Number 5. What do we have for number 5? That would be equal to, well, obviously the x would reduces. Okay, now we shouldn't have any x in there. We're not good. And then we have 6. Okay, we have 6 times x over 8 times x. Now here we're going to reduce the x, turns to 1. We can divide top and bottom of this fraction by 2. Then we get 3 and 4. So Absolutely correct. 3/4 is the answer. Now, Natasha, are you okay with this? You put a question mark. Do you follow that? Can everyone put a check mark next to your name for number 5 if you can follow this one? Okay, good. All right, the last one for this set here, what would be your fraction after you simplify it? Okay, Jasmine, you're saying that is equal to 1 over 13x. Looks like everybody else saying the same thing so far. Mirna, you said 13, and then you say 1 over 13. Well, that's not quite correct. Now let's take a look at this. We have 5 times x at the top, and here we have 65 x. It's like you have x times x instead of x squared, right? So if you reduce this, this would be equal to 1. This would be equal to 1. And if I divide top and bottom by 5, I get 1 here. And here I get 13. Okay, do you see that, Mirna? Right, so you would have, finally you would get, at the top of the fraction, you would have 1, and at the bottom of the fraction you get 13x. So you would have x at the bottom of the fraction here. Okay, can I see a check mark next to your name? If you can follow number 6, everyone, please. Jeffrey? Okay. All right, let's take a look at the second part. Let me open it up, the handout I sent you. Now we're multiplying. It would be very much similar to what we just did here. We're going to write like 2 fractions side by side and reduce. That's all we're doing with multiplication. It's the same as reducing. So let's go ahead and do problems number 1 to 6. And when you're done, put a check mark next to your name, and we continue. Okay, great. Everybody are done. Let's review these quickly. All right. I'm going to ask one at a time this time. Jasmine, tell me what's your answer for number 1, please. Okay, Jasmine, it says 6 over 49. And if everybody agree with this, please put a check mark next to your name. Six over 49. Looks like we cannot reduce anything here, so we just have to multiply. And Mirna, you're agreeing with this. That's good. Okay, Jeffrey, can you tell me what would be the answer for number 2? Okay, Jeffrey says is 12 over 35. Again, we cannot reduce anything. We just simply multiply. If everyone agree with that, please put a check mark next to your name. Great. Okay. Next one on the list, Mirna. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. go ahead and tell me what would be for number 3. Okay, you say it's 2 over 9. In this case, yes, we can reduce the 7. You're absolutely correct. That would be 2 over 9. Would you put a check mark next to your name if you agree with that? Jasmine, good. All right. Stasia, can you tell me what would be the answer for the next one, number 4? Okay, you're saying is 65 over 60 reduced to 13 over 12. Definitely. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to bother with multiplying these. Okay? So if you have 5 and 13 at the top of the fraction, and then you have 4 and 15 at the bottom of the fraction, you can see that you can reduce this 5. So before you even multiply these, go then start reducing. 3, and then as you said it would be 13 over 12. That's correct. Okay, put the check mark next to your name, please, if you agree with her. Jeffrey, good. All right, going back to Jasmine again, can you please tell me what's the answer for number 5? Okay, Jasmine says 9/8. Okay, can you put the check mark next to your name if you agree with that, or X if you don't agree with that? Okay. All right, Jeffrey, you don't agree with that. What do you think the answer is? You have to reduce them, exactly. And I'm not sure how you got 9 over 8, Jasmine. Let's take a look at this. Because we have 9 and 6 at the top of the fraction, and we have 8 and 5 at the bottom of the fraction, and we have to start reducing. All right, this question would be for Jasmine. Can you tell me what number are reducible here in this case? Okay. What 2 numbers I can reduce? Okay, 6 and 8, very good. So both of those are even numbers. I can divide both of them into 2. So if I do that, divide 2 into 6, half of that would be equal to 3. Divide 2 into 4, half of that would be equal to 4. Do you follow that so far, Jasmine? Okay, so Jasmine, can you tell me what would be the final answer here then when you multiply them? (27 over 20). Okay, please put a check mark next to your name if you all agree with that. Great. All right. Nastasia, can you give me the answer for the last one? What do you get for the last one? Okay, remember we are not supposed to multiply these. You're supposed to reduce them. So don't bother, waste your time multiplying and get this huge number. Okay, I want you to start reducing them. All right, let's take a look at this in detail. We have 12 over 11 times 77 over 18. So we have 12 times 11 at the top of the fraction and 11 times 18 at the bottom of the fraction. And here we're going to reduce. All right, tell me, Nastasia, if which of these two numbers, give me two numbers that are reducible. Which two are reducible? Okay, this question is for all of them. Okay, well, just give me two numbers that we're going to start with. Which one you want to reduce first? Give me those two numbers. Which two you want to reduce? 12 and 18. Very good. Okay, so we're going to reduce 12 and 18. When you reduce them, what do you get? Would be, you said it would be equal to 4 over 6. Okay, if you guys agree with that, put a check mark. If not, put X, please, next to your name. 12 over 18. Okay, Jasmine, why are you not agreeing with that? 12 over 18. What is 12 over 18 would be equal to? You're not agreeing with 4/6. You're saying it's 2/3. Okay. Jeffrey, you said you agree with that. You're saying 12 over 18 is equal to 4/6. Well, that's all you have to do is look and see what's the smallest prime number or obvious number can be divided into this number evenly. But both of these are even numbers, so both has to be reducible by 2. So we can divide 2 into those two. Let's do that first. If I divide 2 into 12 and 2 into 18, this question is for Nastasia. Can you tell me what do you get first round reducing? Okay. Nastasia, what do you get when you divide both 12 and 18 into 2? Let's start with that. Okay, again, this question is for Nastasia. What is your answer for when you reduce 12 over 18? Let's divide both of them into 2 first. What do you get when you do that? You said you get 6 over 9. Very good. So if I divide that into 2, this becomes 6. 2 times 6 is 12, and this would becomes 2 times 9 is equal to 18. Very good. Now look at this again. Can you divide these two, 6 and 9, into any common number, Nastasia? What other number you can divide it into? Yes, so what is that? You say 3. So if you do that, what do you get? If you divide both of these into 3, what do you get? Okay, thank you, Tasha. It's a lot easier, Tasha. Okay, I will do that. All right, Tasha, what do you get? 2/3. Very good. So as you see, we can do this in multiple steps to get the correct fraction here. So 12 over 18 is equal to 2/3. Once we can divide into 2, and then we can divide into 3. Or you could see, if you can see, both of these can be divided into 6 in one step. You can divide 6 into 12. We get 2. Divide 60 into 18, you get 3. Do you follow up to this point, Tasha? Okay. Now, what other number can we reduce here? Very good. Can you tell me, can I reduce 17 and 11 as well? Yes. So what do we get? 17 over 11 is equal to what? Both can be divided into 11. So exactly, that becomes 1. That becomes 7. So Tasha, can you give me what the final answer would be here? What would be the final answer? Here you go, 14 over 3. Very good. Can you put a check mark next to your name if you're all okay with that, please? Okay. Let's go ahead and do the last 3 problems, the division one. There are 2 bonus problems in your handout. As soon as you're done with that 3, put a check mark next to your name so we can review the division quickly. Okay, great. Looks like everyone done with these. Let's review them. Let's start with Jasmine. Can you tell me what would be your answer for the first one, please? Number 1. You're dividing now. We have 2/3. We change division to multiplication. And we get 11 over 5. And doesn't look like we can reduce anything after that. Could you put a check mark next to your name, everyone, if you are agreeing with this answer? 22 over 15. Okay, Jeffrey, are you okay with that? Good. All right, Jeffrey, could you tell me what's your answer for number 2, please? Okay, we have 1/6. We have to change division to multiplication. And we reduce, and Jeffrey has 1/4. Could you put a check mark next to your name if you are agreeing with that? Looks like we can reduce both of these into 1/2. And the final answer, as Jeffrey is saying, is Mirna, are you okay with this answer, 1/4? Yes, okay, 1/4. Correct. All right, Mirna, could you tell me what's your answer for number 3, please? 9/8 times 4 over 6. Okay, can you put a check mark next to your name if you agree with that? X if you don't agree with that. Okay, so everybody agreeing with 3/4 as being the answer? Okay, let's take a look at this. We can reduce this. So 4 and 8, if I reduce them, that becomes 1, that becomes 2. And if I reduce this, this becomes 3, and this becomes 2, and so we get 3/4. Absolutely correct. Okay, could you put a check mark next to your name if you've done the first bonus problem, any of you? All of you, okay. Tasha, can you tell me what's the first, what you get for the first bonus one? I have 3x squared, so I can have x and 5. And here I have 2 times 18 times x. Okay, Tasha says 5x over 12. Again, if you are agreeing with her, go ahead and put a check mark next to your name. And it looks like that we can reduce this x, and I can reduce this into 6 and this into 1, and as she says is 5x at the top, and then we're going to have 12 at the bottom. That's great. Okay, any of you have done the last bonus problem? Can you put a check mark next to your name, please? Everyone, okay. So let me ask Myrna. Can you put your answer for the last bonus one? Okay, we have 6 over 7ab, and then we write this as 9b over 5a and multiplication, and we start reducing. All right, and we have 54b over 35a. If you're agreeing with that, could you please put a check mark? If not, put the X. Okay. All right, Jasmine, what is your answer then? What are we doing wrong here? And we have to start reducing. Let's see what I can reduce. I can reduce. Well, let's see what's okay. What is Jasmine's answer would be? Jasmine's answer is 54 over 35 a to the power of 2. That's correct. Myrna, I want you to see if you can follow that. As you see, b over b that turns to 1. Okay? So at the top of the fraction, you have 9 times 6, which is 54, which you were partly correct. The only thing you didn't do, well, part of it is that you didn't reduce b, and also you end up having 2 a's at the bottom of the fraction. So you have 7 times 5, you did that part correctly. And then you put only a at the bottom of the fraction. You have a times a, which is a square. Myrna, do you follow this? Yes, okay, so you just didn't reduce b, and you didn't notice that you have 2 a's at the bottom of the fraction. That turns to a square. Okay. Very good. Now, this is what you need to do to get credit for this session.